This is a story of corporate how company fake sales due to pressure of IPO and sales trajectory. It happens to a lot of corporate America. The fake revenue or pipeline only found out later in subsequent quarter or year, by the time bonus paid or company stock uplift. For Amit, the dream began 2 years earlier. Armed with a business degree and driven by the relentless pursuit of a better future than his immigrant parents had known, Amit had worked his way up from sales development rep to junior account executive. He wasn't flashy, didn't own luxury watches or post on LinkedIn every time he booked a meeting. But he was methodical. His close rates were above average, and his clients respected him. That, however, wasn't what Tech celebrated. The sales floor was a world of its own. Dozens of reps lined up in sleek pods, headphones on, scripts memorized, screens cluttered with CRM dashboards, LinkedIn tabs, and objection handling flashcards. Every week, performance was judged on pipeline growth, not revenue closed. You could close 3 deals and still fall behind a rep who had generated $10 million in projected pipe. Amit's team, nicknamed the Pit Vipers, was notorious for its bravado. Each member had a reputation and a backstory that defined how they played the game. Ravi, Amit's unofficial mentor, had once been an actual closer, reliable, humble, respected. But after missing a quarterly target during his first year, he'd watched half his cohort disappear overnight. Since then, he shifted tactics. Ravi became a master illusionist, relying on flashy dashboards and ghost deals. His motto, perception first, conversion later. Despite his methods, he always had time to coach younger reps. He taught Amit everything except how to lie. One late night, over leftover noodles in the break room, Ravi had shared his philosophy.
The first time I faked a deal, I had 3 weeks left before I got chopped. That deal bought me 6 more months. You either make the number or you become one.
Celeste, the team's top performer, came from a background in hard-knock commission sales, door-to-door telecom, credit card pitching at airports. She was blunt, unapologetic, and lethal in meetings. Her strength wasn't charm, it was pressure. Her philosophy, everyone caves eventually. What unnerved Amit was her ability to push deals over the finish line by sheer force of will. Rumor had it she once sold a 12-month contract to a client during their first 15-minute discovery call. Once, when asked how she consistently hit targets, she deadpanned,
I don't pitch, I corner. People hate uncertainty more than they hate spending.
Daniel, meanwhile, was a former consultant from a Big Four firm. He brought Polish and PowerPoints to every conversation. With his MBA from Columbia and a penchant for using phrases like synergistic revenue layering, he fit perfectly into Trinitech's leadership grooming funnel. Daniel never really sold. He orchestrated aligning meetings to OKRs and repackaging vague interest as executive alignment. It was artful BS and highly rewarded. During a fireside all-hands, Daniel once explained how he added $8 million in pipeline.
All it takes is framing. Interest becomes intent when you write the narrative first. You're not forecasting deals, you're forecasting belief.
The weekly Monday pipeline review became ritualistic. The team would gather in the fishbowl, Trinitech's glass-walled meeting room overlooking the sales floor. Gongs and laughter echoed in the background while caffeine-fueled chatter filled the air. But as soon as Karen Lynn stepped in, silence followed. Karen, the VP of Sales, was a legend. Known for her precision and zero-tolerance policy, she had built Trinitech's sales engine from the ground up. She believed in discipline, optics, and results, exactly in that order. She wore tailored suits, quoted Sun Tzu, and once fired a team lead mid-quarter in front of their own reports.
North of $3 million each. No debate, no cushion. We're weeks away from the IPO investor tour. If you don't have the vision, the strategy, or the pipeline, then get out of the room.
She pointed at the Salesforce dashboard projected on the wall. Amit's bar was red, bright, shameful red.
Amit, you still selling freemium trials?
Laughter. Amit froze, cheeks burning.
Either build something worth investing in or move aside for someone who will.
He didn't respond. He didn't need to. The message was clear. That evening, the Pit Vipers gathered around their usual corner booth at Delta's bar. Drinks in hand, shoulders relaxed.
To Karen, may her pipeline standards one day match the product's features.
You mean may the product finally work the way she sells it?
It doesn't matter. All the board cares about are growth charts.
Amit smiled weakly. But inside, he felt something churning. He knew he was falling behind, and in this culture, falling behind meant falling out.
In Trinitech, deals were stories. The better your fiction, the bigger your future.
Artificial intelligence, machine learning, predictive analytics. These weren't just buzzwords at Trinitech, they were survival tools. The rise of AI reshaped every internal pitch, every sales deck, and every all-hands meeting. Karen Lin had made it clear. Trinitech was no longer just a data visualization company. It was an AI-powered intelligence partner. And if a deal couldn't be spun to align with that narrative, it didn't belong in the forecast. Marketing created new playbooks with AI-themed messaging. Sales engineers were instructed to demo beta features, even if they didn't work. Investors wanted AI transformation, and Karen was going to give it to them. Karen, during a Thursday strategy sync,
AI isn't just what we sell, it's how we survive. Don't pitch dashboards, pitch foresight, pitch disruption. Every deal in the pipeline, no matter how old school, was now required to include AI alignment. The CRM system added a new field, AI relevance level. Low, you'd be asked to justify why it even existed.
Amit sat in a training room surrounded by his team and a bored-looking sales enablement rep named Miguel, who introduced the latest AI playbook.
Miguel. So this is the AI go-to-market framework. Page 4 has our new objection handling tree. Basically, when in doubt, use the word predictive. And if the client doesn't understand the tech, that's a good thing. It means they'll trust your confidence.
Daniel raised his hand.
Daniel, should we differentiate between inferential modeling and heuristic optimization?
Miguel blinked. Sure, but probably just call it intelligent automation.
Laughter followed. Amit didn't laugh. He remembered his last call with a real prospect, an old-school logistics director who just wanted a clear dashboard for delivery delays. There was no AI in that deal, no machine learning, just a practical use case. But when Amit submitted it into the CRM, he got an email from Ravi.
No AI tag =, no visibility. Karen will never greenlight it.
The message was clear. Reshape the narrative or get buried. That afternoon, Amit went back to his Salesforce entry. He edited the opportunity description to read, Client exploring predictive logistics for smarter delivery scheduling, AI-powered route forecasting under review. It wasn't true, but it passed the check. Later that day, during their stand-up meeting, Celeste showed off her pipeline.
Celeste, I added 3 net new logos with AI-first strategies. We're in deep discussions on transformation initiatives, all pilot-ready.
Karen nodded approvingly.
Karen, this is how we position ourselves. Smart, scalable, AI-integrated. Everyone takes note.
Amit glanced around. Everyone was nodding. Ravi gave him a thumb up. And in that moment, he understood. AI wasn't just a technology, it was a mask, and everyone was wearing it.
In a world obsessed with the future, all you had to do was speak its language, even if it wasn't real.
That night, the office was nearly empty. Most reps had cleared out after Karen's latest mandate. Those who stayed were either plotting their next move or too nervous to leave with numbers still red. Amit sat at his desk, fluorescent lights flickering slightly overhead. His Salesforce dashboard stared back at him like a mirror reflecting his professional inadequacy. He clicked through every one of his leads. Cold, uninterested, low budget, or worse. Decision postponed to next quarter. His eye drifted to the red bar under his name. $230,000 in pipeline. Target? $3 million. He exhaled slowly, then he clicked Create New Opportunity. In the company name field, he paused. His hands hovered, then typed. Trinitech Global. He invented the details as he went. Industry, AI-enabled SaaS. Location, Berlin, Germany. Value, $4,500,000. Stage, proposal sent. Close date, 75 days out. He assigned himself as AE and added a long note. Client has expressed strong interest in multi-region integration and AI dashboard layering. Needs include predictive KPI segmentation, revenue modeling, and C-suite visibility modules. Strong traction after demo walkthrough. CMO Clara Jensen requested commercial structure overview, pending procurement alignment. The lie came easier than he expected. Then he did something that scared him a little. He created a fake LinkedIn profile for Clara Jensen, using a stock photo of a Scandinavian woman in a smart blazer. He connected it to a newly created Proton Mail inbox. He added her to his contact list and emailed himself from the account. Hi, Amit. Thank you for the walkthrough. Our product leads were intrigued. Can you send the ROI summary and pricing structure ahead of our sync with procurement? The next morning, he copied the email thread into Salesforce. It took exactly 2 hours for Ravi to notice.
Ravi, dude, who's Trinitech? Where did this $4.5 million monster come from?
Hey, Amit, carefully. European client found us through a webinar, AI expansion, early stage but serious.
Ravi raised his eyebrows, then grinned.
Ravi, welcome to the major leagues, brother. Let's get you some fire emojis.
Slack lit up as soon as Karen saw the update.
Karen, excellent momentum. Finally, some strategic pipe. Keep pushing. Flag for next exec sync.
Amit leaned back in his chair, heart pounding. He had just crossed a line, but he had also bought himself time, maybe even survival. Over the next few days, he deepened the illusion, created internal meeting logs, logged a call recap with Clara, uploaded a fake NDA PDF signed by Voight Nicholas, scheduled 2 internal calendar invites titled Trinitech Discovery Review. It was risky, but every update earned him new praise, new Slack reactions, new credibility. When he walked into the sales floor that Friday, Ravi stood and rang the gong.
Ravi, grinning, SHARMA's going global.
Applause. For a moment, Amit let himself enjoy it.
Sometimes the difference between fiction and strategy is whether anyone stops to ask questions.
Monday morning arrived, and Amit stepped into a different office. He hadn't changed anything physically, but he could feel the shift. Coworkers made space for him in the elevator. Daniel gave him a subtle nod.
Celeste, ever blunt, passed by and murmured, "Not bad, Sharma, not bad."
Amit's desk had an unopened protein bar and a sticky note from Ravi.
Momentum is your armor. Wear it well.
At 10 a.m., he was added to a meeting invite labeled Executive Revenue Sync Strategic Pipeline. It was a small circle: Karen, CFO Donna Blakely, COO Lars May, and, surprisingly, CEO Thomas Laurent. In the launchpad room, the walls were lined with quarterly forecasts, investor prep materials, and AI initiative maps. Karen gestured for Amit to join a chair next to her.
Karen, Amit's bringing in Trinitech, a high-value EMEA client in exploratory talks for a full suite rollout. We're estimating $4.5 million over a 2-year commitment.
Thomas Laurent peered at Amit with the calm intensity of someone used to manufacturing success.
Thomas, Europe's a tough market for us. You crack something?
Amit. They reached out after a data webinar we did last quarter. They're reshaping BI infrastructure and aligning on a predictive model. We showed them the real-time KPI preview. They were intrigued.
It was all fiction. He kept his hands folded to hide the sweat. But they nodded. Donna, CFO, can we use this in the roadshow materials? We're looking to frame AI traction beyond North America.
Karen, we'll anonymize the name, but yes, Amit will provide a sanitized use case brief. After the meeting, Karen caught him in the hallway. You did well. It's yours now. Don't let it fizzle.
Over the next week, Amit's fiction gained layers. He created a PowerPoint deck titled Trinitech Growth Pathway, featuring fake onboarding milestones, internal Slack messages forwarded to leadership hinting at upcoming demo phases, A Google form labeled Trinitech Feedback Survey, filled out by dummy Gmail accounts. His manager sent him to a regional strategy dinner where VPs clinked glasses and said things like, Amit cracked the code. At home, Amit stared at the blinking cursor in a Word doc titled Q2 Wins. His chest was tight. The higher the lie climbed, the more they clapped, and the harder it became to breathe beneath the applause. Lucas didn't look like someone who could topple a narrative. Quiet, thoughtful, and armed with a data science internship badge, Lucas was a third-year UC Berkeley student who had joined Claritech's RevOps team as part of a summer placement. He was the kind of intern who color-coded his notes and drank plain hot water instead of coffee. His cubicle sat near the printer station, mostly unnoticed. His task for the week was simple: scrub the CRM for duplicate entries, inconsistent tags, and stale deals. Pipeline hygiene, his manager said. It was tedious, but Lucas liked clarity. He liked order. He came across Trinitech Global on a Thursday afternoon. At first, it looked like any other major opportunity. But something gnawed at him. The metadata was unusually clean. Too clean. Multiple updates, frequent notes, demo logs, stakeholder quotes. It felt staged. Lucas Googled Trinitech Global. Nothing concrete. He checked business registries in Germany. No incorporation records. LinkedIn? A single profile for a Clara Jensen with no job history and a stock photo feel. He raised it casually in a Slack message to his supervisor, James. Lucas, Slack.
Hey, quick cue. Trinitech Global looks odd. No DUNS, no domain beyond a template, and the exec contacts don't seem to link to real org charts.
James, Slack reply.
Leave that one alone. It's an exec strategy pipeline, not ours to touch.
That night, Lucas couldn't let it go. He ran a WAOIS check on the Trinitech email domain, registered 3 months ago, by a masked proxy. The site hosting it? A Google Sites default template. Lucas took screenshots. Then he opened a locked Google Doc titled Pipeline Ghosts. Over the next 2 days, he documented CRM logs with no external references, email headers from the Trinitech CMO that revealed an encrypted Gmail source, Salesforce activities logged at suspiciously regular intervals, suggesting automation. Lucas wasn't a whistleblower. He was a curious analyst who loved patterns. But even he couldn't ignore what this looked like. On Sunday, after some hesitation, he tweeted from a throwaway account.
Claritech's $4.5 million anchor pipeline deal, Trinitech Global, has no digital footprint, no business registry, and no paper trail. #Phantom Pipeline.
The tweet got 13 likes in the first hour. By midnight, it had 5,000.
One line of code can unravel a system. One intern can unmake a myth.
By Monday morning, the tweet had snowballed. Tech reporters from sites like SassWire, CrunchRev, and BlindAngle were pinging Claritech's comms team. #Phantom Pipeline trended briefly on Twitter. Employees who had never heard of Trinitech were now whispering its name across Zoom calls. Amit was pulled into an emergency sync by his team lead. Ravi looked like he hadn't slept.
Ravi. Karen wants to kill this fast. You say nothing. You delete nothing. You forward no emails. Got it?
Amit nodded, but his heart was racing. At 10:30 a.m., an all-hands meeting was announced. It started late. The CEO, Thomas Laurent, appeared on screen, his background blurred, face stern.
We are aware of the rumors and posts circulating regarding the integrity of our sales reporting. We've launched an internal audit and brought in a third-party compliance firm. We expect full transparency. Any impropriety will be addressed.
In the silence that followed, Slack channels exploded with lock emojis, nervous jokes, and messages being deleted. Leadership created a new channel, #pipeline review, and froze edit access on Salesforce above a certain deal value. Karen was nowhere to be seen. That afternoon, Amit received an invite. Private review meeting, legal, HR, compliance. He walked into a quiet boardroom with 2 outside counsel lawyers, a compliance officer, and the new interim head of revenue integrity. Compliance officer: Amit, we'd like to understand the origin, structure, and documentation trail behind the Trinitech global opportunity, from your notes to your contacts to all supporting materials. Amit sat down slowly. He had prepared a USB. On it, staged screenshots, email logs, notes, all artifacts from the illusion. But he also brought something else. Printed Slack threads from Karen urging creative positioning, Ravi's messages joking about projections built on air, and voice memos he'd saved after late-night calls.
Amit, I built the deal, but I didn't build the culture.
There was silence. The compliance officer nodded slowly. Please stay available. We'll be reviewing this over the next 72 hours. As he left the room, Amit passed Celeste in the hall. She didn't speak, just stared at him, expression unreadable. By Wednesday, the fallout had begun. Ravi was terminated. Daniel resigned to pursue other opportunities. Karen was officially placed on administrative leave. Investor calls were postponed. IPO prep halted. Marketing pulled 2 campaigns offline. And yet, Amit remained. Not fired, not cleared. Just suspended in the storm. When the tower shakes, those who laid the first brick still feel it fall, even if no one sees them under the rubble. 3 weeks passed. The office quieted. Deals froze. And the once unshakable energy on the sales floor turned brittle and hushed. The quarterly targets were suspended. Leadership reshuffled. An email went out with a new reporting structure. The word stabilization replaced acceleration. Amit's badge still worked. He wasn't fired, but he was no longer certain he belonged. The RevOps analyst, who now handled deal compliance, requested that Amit document the entire life cycle of Trinitech. He did, formally, clinically. Every lie now felt like a dried leaf pressed between the pages of an investigation. One evening, as he walked past the Launchpad conference room, he saw a new mural going up. Where the old pipeline tracker had once been, there was now a framed slogan, "Truth scales better." The irony wasn't lost on him. In private, Priya from finance pulled him aside. "You, okay?" "I think so, just watching it all change. You were at the center of the firestorm. Now you're part of the firewall. That's rare." Amit didn't answer. He was offered a new role, strategic revenue analyst, not sales. A bridge between data and accountability. A form of exile in prestige. In his exit interview with Karen's replacement, the new CRO said, "You're smart, resourceful. You bent the system, but you didn't break it for yourself. Let's channel that better." Amit nodded, but something in him stayed quiet. On his last day in sales, he stayed late. He opened his laptop, logged into Salesforce. There it was, Trinitech Global, still marked inactive, no longer visible to anyone else. He hovered over the record, then clicked Delete permanently. A confirmation popped up. This action cannot be undone. He clicked yes, closed his laptop, and walked out.
Some lies climb fast, but they can't outrun the weight of their makers. And sometimes, surviving means erasing the part of yourself that made the lie possible.
6 months later, Amit stood on a rooftop in downtown Oakland, watching the city lights flicker to life. He no longer carried a sales quota. His new role, strategic revenue analyst, was quieter, more introspective. The dashboards he worked on now were about transparency, not theatrics. He sometimes caught glimpses of his old teammates on LinkedIn. Ravi had moved to a Series A startup. Celeste was consulting independently. Daniel was featured on a podcast called Future Funnels. Karen's name had disappeared from the digital airwaves entirely. Claritech's IPO eventually resumed, but with a quieter tone. The company's revised S1 included a footnote about non-material data discrepancies previously disclosed. During a leadership summit on ethics and transformation, Amit was asked to speak. He walked to the mic slowly. He didn't prepare slides. There's a difference between momentum and meaning, between filling a dashboard and earning a client. And sometimes, the hardest truth is realizing you helped build the illusion you now must dismantle. Silence. Then applause. Afterward, Priya joined him near the water station. You sound like a philosopher now.
Maybe just someone who's learned to sell less and listen more.
They smiled. As the night ended, Amit pulled out his phone. He scrolled past news apps and productivity tools until he found the last screenshot he'd ever taken of the Trinitech entry. He paused, then deleted that too.